Hello YouTube. So by watching the title and the thumbnail, you already know this is not a travel vlog or anything of that sort. It's been a while. I haven't been anywhere because I'm not really keen to ride during the summer. So I thought of waiting till the pre-monsoon to start, which is a month or two. So yeah, I had to come up with some content because I had this external mic and GoPro setup, but never really got a chance to do anything or present anything through this. So I thought I'll come up with something like a ownership review of my bike, because this is the reason I started this channel. And this is not a technical review or an expert review, because if you're searching for a long-term ownership review, it's because you have covered the technical aspects of it. Most of them will search for ownership review to know the durability and long-term performance of the bike. So that's the reason I thought of doing this video. Let me hop onto the bike because I don't want people to stare at me and make me feel conscious. So yeah, I'll just start in a while. So before I start with anything, I'll tell you why I got the matte PPF done on this. Although this is known as a city commuter or a beginner tourer, I mostly use this for touring. And like out of the 6,500 I've clocked, 5,000 was easily done by touring. So the rest were city commutes and stuff. Okay, so when it comes to touring, you know how hard it's to maintain the gloss black color. This was a gloss black previously. While touring, you know, the dust accumulation, the road conditions, the parking conditions, everything matters. So for a person like me, to clean and maintain the gloss black after a long ride was really tough. The swirl marks and scratches were looking so prominent. So I thought, okay, this is the best thing I could do now. And I mean, there are some people who can get adjusted to the swirl marks and all, but I can't look at the swirl marks for a longer period because of my OCD or something, I don't know. So yeah, that's the reason I got this done. I mean, 50% of my cleaning efforts were reduced by this PPF now. It's just I'll spray some water and wipe it off. Even if the dust is accumulated, you don't get to see it. So yeah, it's helping me, and that's the reason I got this done. Simple. I'll start with the touring comfort. So the first thing that comes is the ergonomics. This is not an upright position. This is a bit on an aggressive side because they use this vehicle for track purposes as well. A beginner can start with this machine on a track easily. So on a track, an upright position wouldn't really help. So that's the reason they built it this way. But don't take me wrong, even though this is not an upright seating, you can easily tour on this stock handlebar, like easily for 300-400 kilometers a day. No wrist pain, no shoulder aches, nothing. So all good with the ergonomics. It's a clip-on handlebar, everything looks good. If you're planning this for a touring, then you need to add an extender or something. I mean, so that you can add more accessories. That's it. Otherwise it's fine. Comfort wise it's fine, no issues. Okay, so that's that when it comes to the ergonomics. And the next thing is the seating. I personally feel the seat is a bit on the harder side. Like I've seen most of the reviewers say that Apache has got one of the best seats, but I do understand this fact. When you compare this with a Duke 200 or any other vehicle in this segment, Apache has got one of the best seats, no doubt. But for a person who's seeing this bike as a tourer, anything between 200 to 300 kilometers a day, that too with sufficient brakes, this seat can be managed well. But if you're planning to go more than 300 kilometers, then you might feel the pain because it's a bit harder. I mean, for a person like me, I'm on the skinnier side. So if a person who has a lot of butt fat can sit on this, I don't know how that feels. But for me, I've done 450 kilometers a day. So for me, it's a pain when I go beyond 300 or 400 kilometers. It's not a drawback, it's just a a minor problem which can be solved with a simple solution, which is add an extra cushion to the stock seat or get the ride-on air, which is easily available in the market. That's it, it's all sorted. So that's it when it comes to seating. And the next thing is the main thing, which is the functioning of the bike. So how will the bike hold up when you ride 300 to 400 kilometers all day? So for me, I've had no issues at all. Like, apart from the seating comfort, the bike, I've never felt the bike was being stressed. If I was riding 300 or 400 kilometers, there was no like problems from the bike's engine or performance, no overheating, nothing. The bike was going easy. One thing to note here is, if you're planning this for touring and your purpose is you're full time into touring and hit the highways all the time, then you might feel you need the 6th gear sometimes, because it's a highway, and sometimes if you want to cruise in 120s or 130s, you need the 6th gear. So this comes with a 5-speed gearbox. I mean, you might know that already after seeing all the technical reviews. But yeah, so for a person like that who's planning full-time touring on highways, then you might have to consider some other bike. But otherwise, if you're comfortable cruising in 80 to 100 or 110, then this is one of the best bike. Just go for it, because I mean, 80 to 100, 110, easily you can tour all day, even if it's a highway. But of course, there are times where I have felt I need a 6th gear, because when I tour all day long on a highway, like if the highway is a 50 kilometers or 100 kilometer stretch, I mean, I'll feel boring and I want to get rid of that highway. So in that time, I'll feel I need a 6th gear to just whack it open and cover more distance. But yeah, if you're a peaceful tourer, 5 gears is more than enough, man. Like, as I said, if you maintain that 80 to 100 speed, then that's a good consistency. So yeah, when it comes to touring, do consider this thing. While touring, especially in India, it's not always you get highways. I mean, there will be a lot of guard sections you come across, and trust me guys, this is one of the best bikes when you ride on guards. I mean, this does amazingly well on guards. You hardly need a 5th gear in guards, you know. So it's a combination of 3rd and 4th gear that you use in those curves and twisties. But I mean, this bike is amazing when it comes to guards, no doubt. The way this is built, I told you, this is also made for track purpose. So the confidence that you get while cornering, I mean, I am a beginner and I was so confident when I started cornering on this. It's not, I mean, I'm not claiming that I do a perfect cornering, but when you get guard sections, good twisty roads, you get that adrenaline pumped, right? So in that case, this bike is the best, one of the best. When it's touring, you also get, it's not always you get good roads in India. You get a stretch of patchy roads or off-road, a proper off-road. In that case, you have no other option. You have to manage with this bike, with any bike you have at that point. So yeah, I have few points to tell here. This bike, I mean, of course you guys know this bike is not meant for off-roading, because the suspension setup and everything is built for track and street purpose. But when you get a stretch of off-road or a patchy road, if you try to saddle and just pass that stretch like how they do on a Himalayan or an X-Pulse, then you might end up getting problems. Because I had got a problem recently. So it was during a night. I mean, I don't prefer riding at night, but after a trip while I was returning back home, I think I didn't drop my bike on any big pothole or something, but you know that continuous humps that you get, like 3-4 continuous humps. So while I was like cruising at 70s or 80s, the hump was very small, but I mean, I couldn't see it, and suddenly I had to take my bike on those humps with the same speed. So for that, what happened was the left side suspensions fork oil, I mean there was a fork oil leak on the left suspension, and I had to get that changed. It's just that the fork seal was a bit cracked or something. They changed it and they just charged me 200 for the fork oil when they refueled it. That's it. So please do consider these things when you're, I mean, I'm pretty sure you won't buy this for off-roading, but as I said, in India you might get not so good roads. So in that case, just ride wisely. That's all I can say. It all depends on the rider. If the rider knows to ride accordingly as per the road conditions, then bike is a secondary factor there. It all depends on the rider. You just need to pass that stretch wisely. You need to know the limitations of your bike, and not all the bikes are perfect. So yeah, when it comes to off-road, just keep this in mind, know the limitations and ride wisely. So the next thing I want to talk about is the mileage. Of course, mileage is an important factor while touring and city commuting. To be honest, I've never really checked the mileage on this, but one thing I can assure you guys is 35 to 40 is what you can expect minimum. Easily you can get so much, like however you ride. See, I'm not an aggressive rider. I hardly get to see the red lines on this, but while I tour, as I told you, 80 to 100 is what I maintain, and the RPM would be around 5,000 to 7,000. So in that case, I easily get 35 or 40 easily, because I calculated by the fuel I put in. So I mostly top up for about 10 liters of the tank capacity is 12 liters, but while touring I just fuel up for $1,000, which will easily come close to 10 liters, and now it's 10 liters. So in that case, I've easily got a range of 400 kilometers or sometimes 450. So even if I get a mileage above 40 or 45, I won't be surprised actually. So yeah, with mileage it's all good even in city commutes. Okay, talking about the city commuting comforts, again, this bike is amazing for city commutes as well. I mean, this is made for that. Sometimes as a beginner, you might feel disconnected when you're riding a bike for the first time in traffic, in bumper to bumper traffic, but with this bike you have no problems of that. This bike is meant for that. This is not a heavy machine. Also, you have got that technology which is called GTT, glide through technology, which will come in hand when you're in bumper to bumper traffic. You don't need to control with the throttle, it's just with the clutch. It will go up till 15 kilometers per hour, I guess. But yeah, it's only useful for bumper to bumper traffic. Otherwise, I've never really used it, but it's a good add-on. Again, it's easy to filter and maneuver in the traffic. No problems, no overheating, nothing. Like, I've ridden this in Bangalore traffic bumper to bumper, but I've never faced any heating issues. So this bike is good to go with that as well, who are planning for city commuting. Done. And the next thing I want to talk about is something important that I wanted to share it with you, which is called the break-in and engine break-in period. I'm pretty sure you guys might have heard about this. So break-in period is the first 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers of your vehicle is called the break-in period. I mean, break-in can be anything, man. Even in a car or a bike, you need a break-in period. So whatever products you buy, with like a shoe, a leather gloves or a helmet, it'll take a while to get adjusted to your foot size. In case of helmets, it's face size. So anything will take time to get adjusted. Similarly, the bikes or any vehicle's engine will need its time to get used to the moment, because all the engine piston heads are all newly manufactured. So when it's mating for the first time, see, I don't want to be more technical here because I'm not very good at it, but this is the basic idea behind it. Since the engine parts are mating for the first time, there will be a lot of metal shavings. It will create a gap for its movement, so there will be a lot of metal shavings deposited on the engine oil. So that's the reason there's a mandatory oil change during a first service, which is within 500 to 600 kilometers. So if you ride there aggressively, like before the first 1,000 or 2,000 kilometers, there can be a lot of wear and tear, which can affect the long-term durability. So yeah, break-in is very important. The long-term performance or durability of your bike depends on not only bike, any vehicle. So it totally depends on the first 1000 to 2000 kilometers, the way you ride it between that. During this period, what I can tell you is to avoid longer rides, because since the engine parts are all newly built, the engine tends to get overheated very soon. So when you go for longer rides, the engine becomes overheated, which might create problems. I mean, most of the experienced riders recommend that. So like I'm also telling the same. The first 1000 to 2000 kilometers, at least the first 1500 kilometers, try to complete it within the city limits. So within the first 1500 kilometers, try to maintain your bike very well, like look after it like a child. You shouldn't ride beyond 60 or 70. It's not about the speed, it's about the RPM. Just try to maintain within 5000 RPM, and don't keep a consistent speed. Try to vary your speeds so that the piston can get used to new speeds or the movement. So I mean, practice all these things. You get a lot of videos on YouTube who will explain this in detail, so you can go through it. But it's good to know info. If you're planning this for touring, at least wait for 1000 or 2000 kilometers to complete. Then you can ride however you want. Depends on the first break-in period. Okay, the next point I wanted to cover is regarding the service and maintenance. So when it comes to service, currently I am on the free service period, and even after the free service, I don't think it will be much expensive there. Like right now, I hardly spend anything on the labor. It's all the extra lubricants or engine oil that's changed. But otherwise, as I said, even after the first service, I don't think like TVS is much expensive there. TVS has got one of the cheapest service setup in India, so the labor charge or anything wouldn't be really that expensive. So yeah, even the spares are available everywhere in India, as the service centers are present everywhere. So all good with that. It's just that you need to choose a good service center for the service, that's all. Even when it comes to maintenance, since I do touring on this bike, it's just a chain lube and engine oil. I mean, engine oil I top up sometimes if I feel the limit is low. But otherwise, it's just lubing the chain, man, that's it. No other maintenance required. Since it's an oil-cooled engine, no coolants also. So yeah, it's all good with the maintenance and service there. There's one thing I want to discuss. I mean, I'm also confused with this topic. I feel the TVS True 4 synthetic engine oil and the chain lube, the stock chain lube that's available, it's mostly city friendly lubricants, because if you're buying this vehicle for touring purpose, I think that engine oil, the True 4 synthetic engine oil, wouldn't be much of a help there. After 3000 or 3500 kilometers, the viscosity is getting low in this TVS stock engine oil. So I would recommend you to consider other engine oils in the market like Motul or Liquimoly. So I'm just waiting for the 1 year period to get over, because I mean, you have that engine warranty for 1 year, so I don't want to mess it up. Do consider changing the engine oil. I'm part of this Apache owners group, and most of the experienced riders have told me to go with the Motul 7100 10W40 engine oil, synthetic one, because the engine recommended grading is 10W30. Yeah, that's the one. But you can go with the 10W40, no issues with that. So do consider this thing when you're planning this bike as a tourer. Even in city commutes, Motul does a really good job. So for an oil-cooled engine like Apache, I've heard that Motul is the best engine oil. And yeah, that's one thing to consider. And also the chain lube, the stock chain lube that I was using previously. When I was touring, I told you I'm in between 80 to 100 cruising speed. In that case, engine oil spills and sticks onto the rim, man, and it's so annoying when I clean the bike. so that chain loop was not really helpful, so I switched to Motul, which is again doing a good job. It's a sticky lubricant, so it doesn't spill at all. Like 400 kilometers easily you can cruise, like however you want, 80, 100, 110, it will stick up. So after 400 kilometers it is recommended to just lube it for better performance, because engine lubing is really important. That chain is the one who transmits the energy to your rear wheel. Okay, I'm not going technical again, I'm not very good at it, but yeah, I think that's all I had to cover. As I said, this is not a technical review or an expert review. Don't take this in that way. It's just my experience on this bike, feedback from the owner. Different people can have different experience on this bike, but for a person like me who does touring and is comfortable within 80 to 100 cruising speed, I hope this video was helpful for them. And yeah, if you like this video, please give a like, or dislike, feel free. But if you're still watching this, thank you so much. I'll try to come up with some interesting content based on the response I get on this. So yeah, thank you.